and welcome to Studio
Set
Stage, a weekly podcast with us, Cynthia Mallard
and Marq Dean, where we take you from the studio to the set to the stage
in the world of entertainment.
Hey guys, welcome back to Studio Set Stage. I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq Dean.
Hey guys, welcome back. Like we always say,
yes,
another week of Studio Set Stage. A lot of things popping off this week, man. What about those Grammys, dude?
Yes, the Grammys, man. Serious show.
Yeah.
Great show.
You know, I said when the Grammys came out, I know that you were like jumping up and down because of amazing performances, amazing awards given out also this week. So we gotta say kudos to the Grammys. They did a good job.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I want to say props to the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences.
Yes.
The Grammys. Great show. Even amidst all of the controversy back and forth about, whether the show was going to be great or whether the host was going to do their job.
Alicia Keys did her thing. She did her thing. I mean, be honest with you. You know what? I will tell you this. I will say that she is not, I wouldn't say she's just the best host in the world, but she did prove that she is a bona fide artist.
Yes.
Which a lot of people I think had forgotten.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, in this platform, it's easy to forget. Like they say, you had 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Well, with social media and all of the gadgets and different platforms, it's really 5 minutes of fame.
Sometimes you got to remind them, and I think Alicia Keys did a great job of reminding them.
Yeah, she did.
I will ask you, I saw like all the comments like while the Grammys were taking place, and some of the comments about my girl Alicia Keys, they were saying like, what happened to her voice? So, of course, I could not wait to get to Studio Set Stage for this episode and just to talk to you about that. Like, what did you think about her voice? Like, were you surprised about her singing or?
From some of the performances that I saw, definitely with her.
Yeah.
I think she did a good job. I think.
Are you being politically correct? Like, what did you think about her voice, her vocal skills? That's what I want to know.
Well, probably when you don't do it on a regular basis, like with anything.
Oh, okay.
Like when you exercise, it's muscle memory. So
you're saying she
whatever.
She sucked? You didn't think she sucked, or?
I don't think she sucked. No, I don't think she sucked. I think she remained Alicia. But I think, if you haven't done it in a while or, if you've, done it and haven't been doing it consistently, she probably knocked the rust off. But no question, there's no question about her, abilities,
her being in
talent.
The business, exactly. She earned that. She definitely, and she showed you. You know what? I want to say big hats off to J-Lo. I know people, I know everybody who's listening to Studio Set Stage. I know you guys are going to be upset with me, but listen, I really felt like J-Lo did her thing.
Yeah, J-Lo and that's part of the controversy with J-Lo. She did her thing. I thought she did a great job with the Motown tribute. Even greats, legends that were from Motown, like Smokey Robinson, that performed with her. Stated that she did a wonderful job.
I know a lot of people, I was watching the comments, I really was tweeting a lot and just watching all that, which is something I like to do. I love Twitter to death. But they were saying possibly no one was available, which is why they chose J-Lo. But people have to remember, this is Jenny from the Block. I think people forget about Jenny from the Block. Yeah,
and Jenny started out as a dancer. Also she was choreographer as well. So, I remember.
I think she just brought some nuance to the whole performance. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to think about also, this is 2019. The Grammys, they're trying to appeal to the veterans, but they're also really trying to appeal to the millennials. That's what I think it was all about. The energy, the whole vibe of the show.
And the thing is, one thing I wanted to point out with this year's Grammys is that the women really stepped up to the plate and represented well in terms of from being nominated,
performances,
and so forth. And there were some that turned down.
And winning awards.
Yes, indeed. Now, there were some that turned down, and we talked about that last week. With some that said, well, no, I'm not going to perform. I'm not going to be involved with it, for obvious reasons. But yes, females like Dua Lipa. Definitely.
I saw her. She took, what, 3 or 4 awards home, didn't she? Two. Okay.
Her definitely.
Congratulations to her.
Yes.
Her.
Yes, and awesome performance. Definitely. Even I liked the tribute that they did, even though it was short and sweet, with with Aretha Franklin. Mm-hmm. And with this weather, my throat is scratchy, so guys, you gotta excuse me.
I was wondering.
I'm fighting through it. I'm sipping on some tea over
what you
here.
Been doing, man? You almost can't. You can't.
No,
talk.
It's just the weather.
It's the weather. You got allergies,
man. This weather, allergies, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, I'm gonna roll through it because you know what?
You still here?
When we real, we roll through.
Yeah, we do. We know what?
Yes,
Like I said, big ups to the Grammys and congratulations to all those who took gramophones home. That is right? Gramophones. Did I say it right? Gramophone. Isn't that what it's called?
No, we don't say that anymore.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
We just say the award.
I know the award, but that's a gramophone, right?
It's Grammys.
But I'm saying that's called a gramophone, right?
Just say Grammys.
Like the actual sculpture is a megaphone, gramophone. Isn't that what you call it?
Yeah.
See, y'all be playing with me.
Views and opinions.
Hey, y'all forget I used to be a news director. Hey, don't let me pull it out. Don't let me pull out my thesaurus and dictionaries and go to Google and all that stuff. But this episode. We're going to talk, most recently, of course, we always get this question, right? Yes. With you being like working in music and then me working in theatrics and media, whatever. We always get the question of representation, right? So I've kind of reached out to some of the people in the rep department when it comes to broadcast, theatrics. I know you also with music, but
yes.
Just for the initial conversation about representation, like everybody's always asking, man, I need an agent. We hear that all the time. You listening to us, you guys are probably asking the same thing. How do I get an agent? It seems like everybody's got an agent. It seems like there's some kind of mystery around trying to get an agent so that I can actually work in the business, whether it be media, acting, music. So we're going to talk a little bit about the representation, really from a personal aspect for me and you. Right.
Well, Cynthia, I tell you, definitely from the music side of it, representation. The most important. Do I need a manager? I'm looking for somebody to manage, artists. And this
is that what you hear like all the time?
This is directed strictly to the artist, because as an artist, and it's stated, it definitely, you can't be an island. It takes a team.
So let me ask you a question. When you were first starting out your business, like, were you in that group too? Were you like, oh, I got to get a manager, is that what it's called in the music industry?
That's the overall perception, in this journey, when you're embarking on it, you're stating, well, you want to be that star. You want to
elevate, right?
Yeah, you want to be that superstar. That's the goal. And in that, you hear about, most of the famous superstars that you look at or
that are successful,
you admire.
Exactly.
They say, well, I had this manager,
or I had this agent.
I had this agent. That was behind the scenes making all the deals, making
things happen.
That my contracts. I had major contracts and
that I got the gigs.
Yeah, I got the gigs. Right. You get the gigs.
Right.
So with that, I would say starting out in this platform now, which is considered, again, I've said it before, DIY.
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
With all of the resources and tools, there is an illusion in understanding that there is a process. And in that, of course, it starts with the talent.
Yeah.
But it's a business.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you have some things locked down. Now, starting out as an independent for the indie artists out there, to turn that vision into fruition, first you have to initiate the process.
Yeah.
So, you have to do what's tried and true, engage, perform, gig, all of those key things.
You got to raise your visibility. You got to raise your visibility.
However, it comes a time where sometimes in this thing too, you put the cart before the horse because you're looking at the hearsay. And there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. And in knowing, there's certain things that I think in this thing, which is an end result, you always see it at 100. So you think you can start there, but you've missed, not what to do, but how to do it. And at what level do I need to do it.
At what point do you decide? Like we said, we've had this conversation over and over again, and like I said, we keep getting hit with it. Like wherever we go, we may be in a store, we may be at an event, and people are always asking about managers and agents and things like that. Now, we are experts when it comes to like our experiences, right? So first things first, I will tell you this. Most people say, "Oh, I got to get the agent first," like you said. You have to do things in order. So if you are, I don't know, a singer, you're a dancer, you're an actor, whatever you're doing, you got to be doing it first.
Yes.
Like you literally, like you can't just be like wake up out the bed, like you haven't acted, you haven't danced, you haven't you haven't produced anything, and you just wake up and just say, oh, I'm going to get an agent, and hopefully my agent will get everything. That's not how it works, right?
No.
You got to be out there, from my experience, actually doing it. So many people like don't know. It took me years and years. I think the average time of actually getting an agent, most people will tell you, is like 5 to 10 years. Some people don't get agents until like maybe 8 years. 8 years in. So starting
in the process,
from the process, right, from the very beginning, where they're they're in classes or they're getting training or whatever. Most times you don't secure an agent until like maybe 5 years in or 8 years in, and then some people like 10 years in.
Yeah, like you said, there's no substitute for doing the work.
So is it the same thing that you have experienced?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, starting out, if you're going to be an artist, if you're going to be an artist, it's craft.
Yeah.
And you have to develop that, and you have to know that, it first starts with, with even marketing, or if you're thinking about that, all of that plays into it. But you have to know where it falls in line, in order. First thing is you got to start doing what you say you do.
Exactly.
And doing the work. Because it's a craft. And so you got to work on it. And
finding every opportunity to do so, right?
Right. Definitely. To get your visibility up, to let people know when they say, okay, Marq Dean, yes, he is a recording artist. He's a performer. I've seen him over here.
Yes.
So the engagement, because word of mouth is still one of the most powerful forms marketing. When people say, oh yeah, I saw her, or I saw her in this play, or I saw him performing, or I heard this song he produced, that resonates and proof is in the pudding.
Exactly. Well, I will tell you that for me, I'm sure many of you possibly want to know. Hell, I would want to know. It took me probably about a good 5 to 6 years before I secured a SAG-AFTRA agency. Yeah, so about 5, 6 years. Now, this was after me actually starting and training as far as the acting side is concerned, right? But I would do plays around Atlanta. Even before that, in other states, I would do productions, or I would put things together, or I would just try to find out any opportunity where people could see me actually being a storyteller. So it took that long, and I will tell you that it came down to just really writing down a list of, I think I started out with maybe 20 agencies. Literally, I sat down, literally, Marq Dean, with a pencil, paper, and was writing down or typing out all these top 20 agencies or whatever. And, after I got the work, after I felt okay, I have a little bit of confidence in kind of what I do, then I was able to kind of put my little letter together, my introduction or whatever, and actually send it to those top 20 agencies. And the reason why you do that, because you kind of expect, right, on my side, especially in the theatrical side, you expect that you're going to get a no. That's just how it goes. Is that the same?
Well, there's 100
on
no's,
your side? Yeah.
And definitely, I mean, you're going to hear probably 100, couple hundred no's before you hear that one yes.
Yeah.
And with that, you have to do diligence. Starting out as an artist, my first experience, I mean, I was a teenager, but we were signed. I was in a group, but we got the attention of doing talent shows. We was constantly looking for, just ways to show our skills, show, that we could perform, learning the routines of the groups that was out during that time, being like New Edition, Jagged Edge, and all those guys, 112 and all those guys, and really just really just absorbing the craft and being involved, but also getting out there where you can perform, engage, where now people are seeing what you're doing.
Exactly.
And definitely,
and they're considering taking you on.
Yeah.
Right,
and being in the presence of those that can definitely make those decisions.
One thing I know, we're talking about, if you're just joining us, Studio Set Stage, I'm Cynthia Mallard, in studio here with Marq Dean.
Yes.
And we're just talking about our personal experiences, especially in trying to get representation, when we were trying to get representation, and just kind of that process or whatever. So I know that we're talking from a personal standpoint, but it's also, you have to think about the agent's point of view. Sometimes if you put yourself in their shoes, then it makes it a lot easier. I've dealt with lots of agents in and around town, and most times they're looking at a person and seeing that if they have room for you. Like, do you fit something, or do you have something different that they don't have that possibly they can capitalize on?
Right. And definitely, I mean, it all starts with those that they choose. Definitely that artist, you have a clear vision.
That's right.
Of what you're trying to achieve.
You look different. You sound different. You do something different. I always tell people, like, I used to have some like young interns who would ask me about, I was like, you know what, why would you go and copy what somebody else is doing? I said, you're really decreasing your chances of getting represented, because you people, most times what I've noticed, agents, they want unique people.
Yes.
Of course, you've got your categories, when it comes to theatrics. When I say categories, many people are probably like, what are you talking about, Cynthia? But in acting, especially theatrics, stage, films, whatever, with agencies, there are slots. There is maybe you fit in the 20 to 25, or you can play 20 to 30, right?
Right.
Maybe you're African American. Maybe you're slim built. That may be a category, right?
Right.
Then another category might be maybe you're male. You're 50, and you can play 50 to 75, and you're a Caucasian. You're a white male.
Right.
So that's a category too. So some people, when I tell them that, they say, "Oh, so there's actually slots, right?" So say if you have a category, say Asian woman between the ages of 30 and 40. That's her range, right?
Yeah.
So what if an agency loses one of those females? Then guess what? They're looking to what? Replace that. They're looking to replace that Asian lady whose age is 30 to 40.
And there's categories. Just like, for instance, when as an artist, in music, if you're doing music and you know that this is my genre. Well, what do you mean by genre? My genre is the type of music that you're writing, or the type of music that you're performing or producing, whether it's hip hop, whether it's R&B, whether it's country, whether it's rock. Yeah. You definitely get familiar with that genre, because what attracts
an agent representation,
right?
And
those representation is you having a understanding, really an overstanding of the genre
and what they need
and what they're looking for.
Exactly.
And understanding, okay, well, what right now is essential in me getting the visibility and getting that attention from that potential manager or that potential artist, as far as agent that will sign me. Because in music we have booking agents, and so in that terms, the booking agent definitely allows or makes sure that the artists, have access to those potential gigs. Because in this platform now, what's tried and true is, as an artist, you need to be performing. You need to be gigging. You need to be out in front of people, so you can get that organic, resonance of spreading the virus, which is
what you mean by music. What you mean? Oh, you mean so people will catch on.
Yeah, definitely, and that's extremely crucial, and that I've said this before, the illusion of social media, because everybody has a smartphone, everybody has an IG, everybody has a Facebook, everybody has, say, Snapchat, all of those things, but I've talked to a lot of up-and-coming artists saying, well, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Spotify. I've got my material on there. Mm-hmm. Do you have a website?
Right.
Do I really? No, I don't know if I really need it. Yes, you need a website.
You do.
Because the website is your home on the World Wide Web. And when you think about how music is now distributed and ingested, you need a home, and Instagram, Facebook are just avenues that lead back to your home, which is your website.
Because, and then think about it, when you contact an agent or whatever, like you said, booking agent, whatever,
right.
Like you said, they going straight. First of all, they're going to check your social media. So we already, that's already understood, right? But if you got your stuff that's living at your home website, all they got to do is sit at their office, right? And just click.
Exactly.
Right? And just look at your website. So so your website can be used as a tool for you getting an agent, getting representation or whatever.
Yes.
I cannot believe so many people that I meet, they don't realize that also garnering representation is about relationships.
Yeah, it's definitely about relationships.
Like, oh my God, like more than maybe more than even the talent. I hate to say it like that, but most times
that's true.
That's true.
You're just being real.
Yeah,
it is built on relationships. And once you establish that relationship, you can build the partnerships. Because in this thing, it's going to take partnerships. And those that are successful, if you look at anyone from, say, Cardi B, which won Best Rap Album.
Exactly.
In the Grammys this year, to, say, Gaga, her team, which she has a team, some of those relationships was cultivated. Yeah. They established a rapport.
Years ago.
And then they connected to say, okay, well, look, we can partner on key things. And they believe in your vision. They buy in. And they help to manifest those things and make them come true.
Well, I know right after that, I know some people are sitting back thinking, okay, so well, how do I foster or how do I start those relationships? Like we said before, first of all, like I did, I made a list of like 20 agents or, representation or whatever.
Right.
And I just hit each and every one of them up. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I would like let them know, okay, well, my name is Cynthia Mallard. This is what I do.
Right.
This is my background. Right. So not only was I emailing them about that, right? But shooting them all maybe some video.
Yeah.
Shooting them some video. Okay, maybe I'm performing here.
Letting them see you work. Right.
Letting them see me work. Exactly. Following up, some of them, I'll be honest with you, some of them like I'd never heard back from. So right. They probably were like, can she just please stop emailing me, right?
Oh man, the no's are gonna come, they're gonna keep coming, they're gonna keep coming.
But then there were some who told me, well, I don't have room for you right now. Right. So it's not a no, that's kind of like a maybe. That's kind of like, okay, I don't have room for you right now, but when that slot comes open, I'll give you consideration.
And it gets you acclimated to understanding the process because you might be afraid to reach out to that particular manager or that particular agent or even an attorney. But if you continue and they see you're consistently doing it, then they will come back and tell you, well, look, right now, I can't do this. However, this is what you can do.
Exactly.
And you might learn something that will help you to reach out or connect to that next manager because you've created a list. You've garnered those, from that process and learning, and now you're applying it.
Also, if you know that you really want to be signed with a particular agency or publisher or whatever, find out where they're going to be. Let me tell you, like my agency, like most of the people who represent me, they're always out. They're always out. They're always at different panels, different discussions. Make it a point, it's your business to be where they are, to go up to them and introduce yourself face to face. I know we're in a digital world. I know that everything is email. It's all social media. But there is something about a face-to-face contact that will get you further than anything else. It's what I learned.
Those are real jewels. And I will say that, that's one of the crippling things with this current platform. People feel like, well, I could just drop an email or I'll send you a text.
Like, why they going to hit you back?
No. You have to know how to communicate face to face.
Exactly.
And that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because
people still respect that.
Right.
And especially people who are agents and who represent people, like they come from that school. Yeah. Like it takes a lot of courage. And we both realize that because we've been through the doors. It takes a lot of courage for somebody who is, say, unsigned just to walk up to an agency rep and talk to them and introduce yourself. Because obviously, I mean, it's a power thing too. I know a lot of people don't like to say that or whatever. And it's intimidating. You know, it is.
And many times you're going to hear from musicians, they're going to say, well, we don't accept unsolicited material. We don't accept unsolicited material. Yeah. And that's fine. However, there are other ways, you know, like you said, conferences, being abreast, or even going back to the Grammys.
Just making sure that they know you.
Become a member. Yeah. Become a member
they know you.
of the Grammy chapter.
Exactly.
Figure out in Atlanta, there's a local Grammy chapter in Atlanta. Get acclimated, you know. See, you know, learn about the membership. Yeah. Become a member.
Now, guys, we will tell you, like I said, again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about representation. We're talking about just kind of like our personal experiences, being represented by professional reps in the industry. And you've got to understand it's about relationships, okay?
Yeah, relationships.
So we talked about that. We talked about, you know, your process, you know, how to actually open up the door, right?
Right.
You've got to understand that there are different types of agents also. So you can't, if you're needing a manager or whatever, or you're needing something, maybe a publisher, right? Yeah. That's an agent. You got to know exactly what type of agent that you need. Like, are you trying to do commercials? You know, are you trying to do feature films, television, dramas? You know, in
are
media.
You a producer? Are you trying to shop? You know, your material or your tracks to artists?
Right. So you might need a broadcast agent. Right. You may need a theatrical agent, right? And then if you do music, you might need an agent. You're going to need an agent on that side too. So you probably hear lots of celebrities. You know, they're like, man, they got like 3 or 4 people representing them, but because they are representing them in different areas. So you may do voiceover, you know, television, film, music, and all those areas are separate.
Yeah, definitely. If you a producer and you write, you know, you might want to license your material. So you know, definitely becoming a affiliate with a PRO, again, performance rights organization like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC.
Yeah, you might not want to. I mean, like in broadcast and theatrics, you may not want to think about getting a manager unless you what? Unless you want to work in different markets.
Exactly.
So, you know, you have a manager who maybe represents maybe West Coast. You may have a manager that represents East Coast.
Right.
So a lot of people are like, oh, I need a manager, and they're only working, say, in Atlanta. And that's all they want to do.
Right. And then once you, too, because, you know, like you said, you might get in contact with a manager, but that manager might not be familiar with the genre. So you have to do diligence. You have to find out, okay, those managers,
you have to know it.
In R&B or if you're in hip hop, you know, you want to definitely, like you said before, identify those that are doing their thing, that's kicking up dust, and keep your ears to the fire. You always have to keep your ears to the fire.
Well, I know that lots of agents and you know, we're here with you. We've been through the process, and we know that lots of agents say, you know, don't call us, don't talk to me, don't send me anything. Right. I mean, there are agents out there. We are not accepting submissions right now. You have to heed that. Now, I'm not saying you don't heed that. You just go against the rules or whatever. But if you're hungry, it'll show or whatever. Right. So when the submissions do open, you're submitting your stuff. You're doing, your material, and maybe you're sending those links to the agent that you're interested in signing with.
Right. And this thing changes like you change your clothes. So you have to stay abreast, like you said, when those openings come up. Because they do change. You know, like you said, definitely. I mean, that's every one thing that's constant is change.
And I'll just be honest with you. I mean, this is Studio Says Stage, like I said, and like we're here to kind of help you to but we're here to help elevate in what you do. I'll be honest with you. I called I call my agents, and maybe that's why I didn't get any answer from some of them, but that's okay. Like you said, you go through 100 no's and you get that one yes. But I did call because I am of the school, like, if you really want it, like, you got to show that you really want it.
Yes, indeed.
So I called.
A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yeah.
You have to make sure, like, for me, I wanted to find out where were the PROs. So I said, well, look, I need to look up where they are. I need to go to their offices, find out where they're located, in the city. Yeah. And then do diligence to say, okay, which one fits what I'm trying to achieve as far as my goals as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then as you get acclimated and then you start talking to these people and professionals, they will tell you, well, all right, I appreciate you doing this, but you need to do it this way.
Right.
And starting out.
And ask, and ask people. Most of us know people who are assigned to certain agents and bookings and publishers and things like that.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Right.
Some people are very tight-lipped and asshole-ish, but that's okay. There are people who will tell you, who will say, okay, I'm rep by this right here. Just tell them that I sent you, or tell them that I referred you. It goes back to the relationship. Like, people ask me all the time, and I literally tell them, I tell them up front who I'm rep by, and I say, hey, tell them this. I tell them the person to contact or whatever, and I've had people come back to me and say thank you. Even if my agency does not pick them up, they still got an answer, a straight answer in the direction that they need to go to.
Right. And a lot of tools and resources are out there, but everything is saturated, so you don't know where to start.
So ask word of mouth, like you said.
Exactly.
Now, guys, like I said, we're here every week.
Yes.
We do appreciate all of your feedback. We're on all social, Studio Set Stage, Facebook, IG, Twitter, the whole nine. Don't forget the podcast, right?
Yes, indeed. The podcast, you can reach us on iTunes. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. So we love you, and keep us in mind. We got more stuff coming, and it's going to be a lot. I'm Marq Dean.
Don't forget, like you said, Marq Dean. Like, don't forget to download, subscribe, share, like and comment. Like, we thrive on your feedback. It's what we need to keep going for Studio Set Stage. And again, like Marq Dean said, we thank you so much. I'm Cynthia Mallard, and this is Studio Set Stage.
All right, take care, guys.
Join us next week.
Right.